30 minutes, we shall talk about meditation. Meditation is a vast subject which takes months or years to understand. But in this brief time, I will just try to orient you on 5 questions. What is meditation? Why should we meditate? When and where should we meditate? And how should we meditate? When we say what is meditation, people have different ideas. Some people think meditation is the same as yoga, doing physical exercises. Some people think meditation is not for me, it's for the monks, who are in the Himalayas or in the monasteries. Other people have an idea that meditation is going to give me a lot of power. I can walk on water, I can read people's minds. So people have all these different concepts about meditation. But to understand what is meditation, we have this chart called the BMI chart. This chart was made by Swami Chinmayananda, who is the founder of the mission. And he always used this chart in his talks. And I find this helps us greatly to understand what is meditation. So this chart is called the BMI chart, body, mind, intellect. Now we all have these 3 components to our personality: the body, the mind, and the intellect. The body, which is the gross body, which is visible to us, is the same. It's made of the 5 elements. Yeah, there are subtle differences between male and female, young and old, short and tall, black and white, but essentially we have the same human body with the heart and lungs and liver and so on. And what do I do with the body? With the body, I become a perceiver of objects. So with the body, I perceive the objects, which means with my eyes I can see, with my ears I can hear, with my nose I can smell, with my tongue I can taste, with my skin I can touch. So I can see, hear, smell, taste and touch this whole universe. I can perceive this entire universe, everything from the ant crawling in the ground to the sun in the sky. Everything I can perceive with my body. So with the body, I become a perceiver of objects. The mind is the seat of emotions. So with the mind, I feel the emotions. Emotions could be joy, could be sorrow, anger, hatred, greed, compassion, love, kindness. So all the good and bad emotions, I feel with the mind. And the intellect is the seat of judgment, of decision, of discrimination, which decides what is right, what is wrong, what I should do, what I should not do, and also concepts. So with the intellect, I become a thinker of thoughts. So things like chemistry, physics, mathematics are studied in the intellect, while poetry, drama, music are appreciated by the mind. So using the body, mind and intellect, I become a perceiver, feeler and thinker of this whole universe of objects, emotions and thoughts. So this is me. At least that's what I think of myself right now. This is the world, the objects, emotions and thoughts. And this PFT is the relationship between me and this universe. The perceiver, feeler and thinker also is called by Swami Chinmayananda as the ego. Now what is the relationship between the body, the mind and the intellect can be illustrated by a simple example. Say there is a plate of donuts lying here and the eyes perceive the donuts and the message goes to the mind, donuts. And the mind remembers donuts, it's something sweet, very delicious. So immediately the mind wants to enjoy, repeat the experience. So the order goes to the body, pick up the donut and put it in the mouth. Or could be a mithai or a barfi or anything. The mind wants to enjoy, the body follows the instruction. But the intellect says, wait a minute, don't eat this sweet. Why? Because you have diabetes. And the last time you ate 3 donuts, you ended up in the emergency room. So if the mind listens to the intellect and says, okay, drop the donut, then it will be okay. But if the mind says, I don't care, the intellect always stops me from enjoying, it's only a donut, then you suffer the consequences. So the mind and intellect, when they work together, such a person is called yukta or united. But when the mind does something else and the intellect advises something else, then that becomes a problem. But they are both important. So there is a person whose mind is well developed, is very kind, she is very loving, very compassionate, but does not know what is my goal in life, what is my purpose, then such a person can be misled. Or another person may be brilliant, very intelligent, but have no love in their heart for all others. Such a person we don't want to know either. So an ideal individual is one whose mind and intellect work together to guide the body. Above this, we have V, which is called vasanas. Vasanas is a Sanskrit word which can be translated, has many translations, but the basic one, main one is, it is the unmanifest tendencies or desires which are not obvious but which are subconscious. And it is these desires which make me act, which lead to action, which lead to building up of character, likes and dislikes. So these tendencies lead to desire, lead to likes and dislikes, lead to character, lead to behavior. All is determined by my vasanas or my tendencies. To illustrate, there may be a person who has an alcoholic vasana. He loves to drink. And so what does he do? On his way home from work, he stops at the neighborhood bar, has a few drinks. Then by the time he goes home, he's so drunk, he doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know where he is. He goes and he yells at his wife, he beats the dog, he kicks the children. He makes life hell for everybody. Another person has a sports vasana, and he's on the basketball court shooting hoops, one after the other, one after the other. It's July, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's so hot. And you tell him, why are you out here? Why don't you go inside? He says, no, I have to practice 3 hours. Why? He wants to be the next Michael, the next Kobe, the next Magic. Another person has a spiritual vasana, and she spends her time going to the church or temple, praying to God, reading good books, associating with saints. Why? Because she wants to know, who am I? Who is God? What is my relationship with God? So what is it that makes an alcoholic drink, that makes a sportsman play, and makes the spiritual person pray? It is the vasanas, the tendencies. So the goal of spirituality is to convert the negative vasanas into positive vasanas, the negative tendencies into the positive tendencies, like the prayer of Saint Francis, O Heavenly Father, where there is anger, let me bring love, where there is hatred, compassion, and so on. So I substitute my negative tendencies with positive tendencies and slowly evolve to Om. Now Om is one of God's names. We say God has 1,000 names. So Om is a name that symbolizes God or denotes God. Just as a national flag is not the country, but when you see the national flag, you remember your country, you develop an attitude of love. So Om represents God, represents that total consciousness. And here Om represents God's presence in within me and without, as life, as consciousness. So Om represents God. And what we in Vedanta believe, that there is only one God. You can call him by different names. It is that same God that gives life to all the plants, all the birds, all the plants, fish, animals, humans. And everything that we see is alive, is illumined, is enlivened by that one consciousness. which you can call by different names. You can call him Allah, you can call Father in heaven, you can call it Mother Durga or Saraswati, or call him Buddha or Guru Nanak. But it is that one consciousness that illumines everything. But people always say, my God is better than your God. There is only one God and that is mine. If that was the case, then in somewhere up in heaven there would be a Muslim God and a Christian God and a Protestant God and a Jewish God and a Catholic God and an evangelist God and a Hindu God, and all these gods would be fighting and heaven would become hell. So what we say, there is one God, that is here denoted by Om. Om represents God's presence within and without. God's presence as life. It is because of that I am I'm speaking and you are able to listen. So it is that consciousness which makes us speak, which makes us listen. So now I'll just, after having summarized this chart, I'll come back to my original question: what is meditation? Even though there are thousands of books written on meditation and it takes years and years to understand that, but if you want to describe meditation in two simple sentences, we say, what is meditation? Quieten the mind, turn it inwards. Quieten the mind, turn it inwards. Because our mind, as soon as I wake up in the morning, it starts running into the world of objects, emotions and thoughts. Oh, today is Monday. What do I have to go to work? So what am I going to wear? What am I going to eat for breakfast? What time do I have to go? Whom do I have to pick up on my way to work? Whom am I going to meet? What am I going to do? And then on the weekend, what I did. So the mind starts running into the past or into the future. But during meditation, we quieten the mind. Turn it away from the objects, emotions and thoughts, and with that quiet mind, turn it inwards to the divinity within, to the consciousness within. How we quieten, we'll talk at the end of the talk. But basically, it is quieten the mind, turn it inwards. Now, why should we meditate? People say, my life is going okay. Yeah, I have some stresses, some problems, but what is the benefit? Why should I get up in the morning and sit erect and 20 minutes chant Om? I could be, reading the paper or watching TV or doing something else useful. So what is the benefit of meditation? We say that meditation has many benefits. At the body level, it has been shown that regular meditation helps high blood pressure, heart disease, migraine. A lot of the psychosomatic physical problems can be helped by high blood pressure. Dr. Vernon Barnes, he's from the University of Augusta in Georgia. He did a very beautiful study. He actually came to do a seminar for us a few years back. And he did a very beautiful study where what he did was he went into an inner city high school in Augusta, Georgia, which was 100% black children. And as we know, blacks have a high incidence of hypertension. So he said, I'm going to study 60 children. So he asked for 60 volunteers who were supposed to come to school 45 minutes earlier. And so there were 60 boys and girls who were divided into two groups of 30 each. And one group sat in a room like this, and Dr. Barnes himself taught them how to meditate. So for 45 minutes, they would practice meditation with the professor and not learn or study anything, just meditate. Another group of 30 who were similar were put in the next room, and there was a lady teacher who was teaching them good things, like how to be kind and compassionate and good values and moral principles. So 30 were learning good things and 30 were not learning, were just meditating. And in that beautiful study, he showed that the 30 who were meditating, their blood pressure dropped significantly lower than the 30 who were not meditating. They were checked before and after 3 months, and there was a significant difference in the two groups between those who meditate and those who don't. There's a professor named Dr. Dean Ornish who has written a very beautiful book where he has shown, he lives in San Francisco, he has shown that through meditation, yoga and diet, he was able to open established coronary arteries. So through meditation, it helps heart disease, it helps blood pressure, and a lot of the other physical problems related to stress. At the mental level, it has been shown that regular meditation helps to handle stress. It will not reduce the stress, will not take away the stress, but will improve the body's ability to handle stress. The mind will remain calm irrespective of stress. At this point, our situation is like this. One day I'm up, and then second day I'm down, and somebody praises me and my mind is happy, and then somebody criticizes me and my mind is depressed and I am depressed. So up and down we go. But a person who meditates, she will have ups and downs, but not wild. Yeah, there will be some ups and downs. Okay, this way, not good, not good. But she will be very quickly able to quieten her mind. So the ability to quieten the mind despite all stresses of life is one of the benefits of meditation. So people who meditate do not get affected by stress. In fact, people who have been coming to our classes, several of them have gone off psychiatric medicines. There were others who have had obsessive disorders. There was one lady who used to go to the mall 3-4 times a week and buy useless things. And so a lot of them have been benefited just by practice of meditation. There was a lady on 5 psychiatric medicines who has been able to go off just by regular meditation. At the intellectual level, it has been shown that regular meditation helps memory, concentration, the ability to focus, and can even delay Alzheimer's. You say, how does it do that? Well, meditation creates telomeres. These are attachments to the DNA, and that improves the memory and also can delay aging. The processes of aging can be delayed by meditation. They did a very beautiful study on Buddhist monks where they put them in deep meditation, and they were able to show that when their mind was very quiet and stilled in meditation, there was a tremendous increase to the blood supply of the frontal areas of the brain. So areas that are related to memory, intelligence, concentration. So meditation can help the heart and high blood pressure, physical problems, can help stress, can help memory and delay Alzheimer's. We say that's wonderful. But these are the byproducts. This is not the main reason to meditate. Yeah, you may get this benefit of stress or blood pressure or concentration. But the main benefit of meditation, the main reason to meditate is it is a spiritual activity, it brings me closer to God. Because right now we have this idea that God is somewhere up in heaven above the clouds, or maybe He's in Bethlehem or Mecca or Kailash, or He's in the church or temple or mosque. But through meditation I find the Lord's presence in my heart. So I consider meditation as my appointment with God, the God who has created me and given me everything. It's my exclusive time. And so the more time you spend with somebody, the closer you get. So the more time you spend in meditation, the closer you get to your own true self, true nature, which is the Lord within. So the main reason to meditate is it is a spiritual activity, brings me closer to God, and I discover presence of the God within me. Now when and where, we say meditation should be done at a quiet time and a quiet place. Preferably the morning is the best time, because in the morning your mind is quiet, you've had a good night's sleep, the phone is not ringing, and then the sun is rising, and it's a very sattvic time, a very spiritual time. If you can spare 20 minutes or half an hour in the morning, that's very good. If you cannot, then at the end of the day, after you've finished your work and the children have been put to bed and dishes have been done and the house is quiet, then you can meditate before you go to bed. Some people like to meditate twice a day. First thing in the morning to get their day started right, and last thing at night to get the mind ready for sleep. But it should be a quiet time where you won't be disturbed, and a quiet place. Pick a place where you won't be disturbed. If you have your own bedroom, you can sit in the bedroom. If there is a prayer room in the house, you can sit there. Some people like to meditate in the backyard where it is quiet under the trees. But it is an individual activity which is time with me and God. Once a week, if you can find a group to meditate with, that helps a lot because it gives you more energy. The group energy helps you in your meditative progress. But otherwise, meditate by yourself. But it should be done regularly and sincerely, every day as much as possible. Because unless you do something regularly and sincerely, you're not going to get well at it. Like, people come and tell me, I have been meditating for 2 weeks and my mind still runs. We say it's like saying, I have been playing golf for 2 weeks and why can't I hit the ball like Tiger Woods? Or I have been playing tennis for a month and why can't I serve like Maria Sharapova? Just as to be good in golf or good in tennis or good in computers takes a regular, sincere effort to win the Olympics. So similarly, meditation needs regular, sustained effort. People say, how long before I notice the benefits? We say, yes, as you meditate 5 years, 10 years, it will get better. But if you want to see the benefit, even 3 months, we are saying just meditate for 3 months. You don't have to wait 5 or 10 years. If you meditate regularly for 3 months, you will notice such a difference in your physical, tension, in your mental stress, in your focus and concentration. You will realize it's the best thing you did for yourself. You will feel much more peaceful because meditation gives you inner peace. And as you meditate longer and longer, you will get the benefits. And now there is so much material on the internet, books that you can buy. So by reading, you can improve. Last question is how? And here we have the 7 steps of meditation steps. And this will show us how to quieten the mind. So the first step is one should be fully awake. Why do we say that? Because in meditation, your mind becomes quiet. So if you have not had a good night rest, say you only slept for 2-3 hours because you had a project or some late night party, and then you say, I have to get up at 5 to meditate, you get up, you will fall asleep. But if you have had a good night's sleep, 6 or 7 hours, then you are fully awake, and the mind has to be alert to contemplate upon the nature of the self, to go within. The second step is the back should be erect, not stiff, but it should be head, neck and back should be in one straight line, as Krishna says, samakaya shirogrivam. The head, neck and back should be in one straight line, erect but not stiff. Now why is that? Because we have heard that in our body there are 7 chakras, the 1000-petal chakra, Sahasra chakra at the top of the head, the forehead, the neck, middle of the chest, the belly button, the groin and the tailbone. So these 7 chakras correspond to energy centers in our spinal cord. And when the back is erect, the 7 chakras are all aligned and the flow of energy through our spine is very good. And in meditation, the 1000-petal Sahasra chakra is open to the cosmos, is drawing energy. The flow of energy is good. That's why after meditation, it's very interesting. You feel peaceful, at the same time you feel energetic. It's a very strange combination. You feel energy, but at the same time you feel peace. Third step is the eyes should be closed. Of course, advanced meditators can walk on the street and see something and go into meditation. But for the beginning, I find that to close the eyes is very good. Because say my eyes are open, at this moment I can see the light, the clock, the fan, the chair, the camera. But if my eyes are closed, I don't see the camera, I don't see the chair, I don't see the people, the clock, the lights. I don't see anything. So my mind has less of a tendency to run out if the eyes are closed. Also early in the morning you should make sure your phone is off, you don't have coffee pot brewing. Incense I find, because anything that stimulates the senses takes away. So we should reduce the sensory stimulation as much as possible. The fourth step is to relax the body. And the way we do it, as we learn in yoga, is you start from the head, relax the head, the forehead, the face, the neck and shoulders, the arms, the fingers, the chest, abdomen, thighs, calf, toes. And then you start from the toes and slowly move back up the calf and the thighs and so on. The idea being that every part of the body should be consciously relaxed. Why? Because the body and the mind are very intimately connected. In meditation, we are trying to quieten the mind. And we find that suppose my mind is angry, I am upset, I am very angry at somebody, then what happens? My body becomes tense, my fist gets clenched, my blood pressure goes up. So when the mind is angry, the body becomes tense. But correspondingly, when you relax the body, it relaxes the mind. So they are connected. The fifth step, which I find helps me a lot, is to watch the breath. And here we don't control or regulate, we just observe. Raman Maharishi said, the breath and the mind are intimately connected. Chitta Vayu Brat, Chit Kriya Yuta, Shakhayor Dvai Shakti Mulaka. The breath and the mind are connected because they are both nourished by one consciousness. Just as two branches of a tree are connected by one root, so the breath and the mind are nourished by that one consciousness. So, as you observe the breath, you will find that the mind becomes very quiet. Not only in meditation, but say you're having a stressful day and I'm very busy. I recommend just take 5 or 10 minutes during your lunch hour or break. Sit quietly in one side and just observe the breath. And if possible, chant the mantra. And you will find that as you observe the breath, the mind becomes very quiet. Breath observation is a very powerful way to relax the mind. Sixth is to chant the mantra, and everybody should have a personal mantra. It should have the name of God associated with it. For a Hindu, it could be Om Namah Shivaya. For a Muslim, it could be Allahu Akbar. For a Christian, it could be the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. But here in our meditation class, we just recommend only chanting Om, because Om is one of God's names. When the creation came, Om was the first sound. It represents all the sounds and all the world's languages originated from Om. So the way we chant in our class is that we all chant Om 3 times. First 3 times we do it audibly, where just the neighbor can hear it. Then you pause, and again you chant Om. And in that pause, you pay attention to the silence from which the sound is emerging. Pay attention to that silence. After 3 times, then 3 times we say just whisper. Where only you can hear it and nobody else. And then slowly let it end, and then pay attention to the silence, and then chant again. And after 3 times, then just chant Om in the mind, slowly. And slowly lengthen the silence in between the Oms. And slowly, slowly let the chanting even disappear. And you go into that silence. So how long do you stay in silence? We say that the first 6 steps, from 1 to 6, take approximately 10 minutes. For beginners, we say stay in silence for 10 minutes. And in that silence, you turn the mind's attention inward to the divine presence and tell yourself that I am the divinity. This body, mind and intellect is my equipment that I use to function. I am not this body. I am not the mind or intellect. I am that divinity who at this moment is occupying this mind. I am that consciousness. and stay with that understanding for 10 minutes. Of course, your mind will wander. It will not stay in silence. So you again bring it back by watching the breath or by chanting the mantra. You again bring the mind into silence and then stay in that silence for at least 10 minutes. And slowly, slowly you will find that your mind will become more quiet, more peaceful, more centered within the self. And then as you start enjoying meditation, this silent period you can extend from 10 minutes to 20 minutes to half an hour, even 1 hour. There are some people who meditate 2 hours every day. On the weekend, if you have more time, you could meditate longer. But these 6 steps you must do. That takes about 10 minutes. And then this one, depending on how much time you have. The more you do it, the more you will enjoy that. So what is meditation? Quieten the mind and turn it inwards. Why should we meditate? It's a spiritual activity, brings me closer to God. When and where? We say pick a quiet time and a quiet place. And how? These are the meditation steps. Thank you for your attention.